everyone, Nicholas Lee here and welcome to day 22 of the Duty to Sell Challenge. Today I have something very exciting to share with you. This is something that I've been working a lot on for the past year, I would say, in figuring out a framework to teach everything that I can with as many people as I can around influence, around sales, around selling to masses, around building a legacy, and all of those crazy things. And I will admit, I've not done this on my own. I've used my really good friend, ChatGPT, to help me create something I believe is incredible and hopefully will show you what is possible with influence and how you can use it in your own life to do amazingly great things for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, and also for all of the people that you can add value to, that you can improve their life, and of course, generate a ton of wealth, of money, and time for yourself and your family. So today, I'm going to reveal to you the influence code. Now, I believe the group is called the influence code, but you may be wondering, why are those phases in there? Why do we have so many different phases, so many different names? You may be confused as to why I keep on seeding and mentioning those different parts. Well, today I will reveal a lot of it, and potentially, if you've watched one of the other videos, right now it doesn't exist, so that's why I'm creating it now for the first time. But if you're coming through in a month's time, in 2 months' time, down the line, that training would already be available somewhere else. So don't worry about it. This will just be a recap of it. And just to be aware, this is the first version of me teaching it. So as we go along, this might get better. This will surely be improved, but I think it's already at a great place in terms of the design, in terms of the colors. So I'm very excited to share this with you on the next slide. And I'm going to go over the whole concept, why it's so important, and how you can benefit from it going forward. So let's dive into this right now. Okay, so what do we have here? My goodness. And guys, this was all created by ChatGPT. I have to say, it looks amazing. And this is the influence code. As you may realize, if you look down here, this is phase 1. This is self-influence. This is what the Duty to Sell Challenge is about. As I go along, as I hear more from you guys and I see where else you're struggling, how else I can help you, this may evolve. I might create more training. I think I've already got a few more training that I will create and add as an addition to phase 1 for you. But the Duty to Sell Challenge is about helping you take control of your own mind and influence yourself. Sell to yourself. At this range, at this layer, you are selling to yourself so you can motivate yourself, so you can do more in life, and also so you can prove to yourself the importance of learning this amazing, powerful skill that we were all born with of influence and selling. I hope I've done a great job and things are getting clearer in your mind. You can already see the power of setting and putting yourself in that position. But this is phase 1. Now, what I mean by phase 1 is that I will explain it to you into 3 layers of influence, income, and assets. So, at a self-influence level, right, let's be honest, this is the lowest level, but this is the most basic level everyone needs to have so they can ascend to phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and phase 5. Because if you cannot influence yourself to motivate yourself to go to work, to motivate yourself to create amazing products and services, to convince yourself that your ability to sell is very, very important and is a direct reflection of the money you'll create, the assets you'll have, and the influence you're going to have on other people that need your help, then going to phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and phase 5 will not have any meaning. And the reason I spend so much time on phase 1 is I have seen too many trainers out there really focus on phase 2, which is the mechanical influence of selling, and literally stop there. And that's why many people, and I've been part of it, of course, gone through their training, learn the wording, learn the process, learn the objection handling, and come out of it still not knowing what I'm doing. Because as we've now realized, right, hopefully, everything starts right in your mind. If you don't believe you're meant to sell, if you believe what you're selling is too expensive, whatever words you use, whatever systems, techniques, tactics you're going to use will not give you a long-lasting result. You may close a few deals here and there, but it won't feel nice, I can promise you, because I've been there. It won't feel nice, it won't feel natural, and you may have heard some of my clients talk about it, Ravinder, Bhav, talk about how natural, how confident they are in selling. It all starts with the self-influence phase. Now here's something very important. At the self-influence phase, you do need to realize that the level of influence you have will be very minimal because you're influencing yourself. So if you want to call it, that'd be more on a zero level, right? But with influencing yourself, that means you're going to be more motivated, your passion will come up, you will eventually, with that, influence more people around you. Could be your kids, your wife, could be your business partners, could be your clients, and I promise you, do the work that we're doing on the Duty to Sell Challenge, you will close more deals. That's a guarantee. Even though you may not know the words, your passion will come through, your belief will come through, and your duty to sell identity will do the work for you. Your income will be also limited because you're still speaking one-to-one and you're still at that phase. In terms of assets, you won't have much assets because it's only you doing all of the work. Okay, now let's go from phase 1, self-influence. Once you've gone past self-influence and you now believe that you need to sell, meaning you're going to sell more, your passion's going to go up. You're going to believe that it's your duty to lead the clients into working with you, into buying your product, into buying your services. You can now move to phase 2, which is what I call the mechanical influence. Now, what do I mean by mechanical influence? I mean, you know how sometimes you close a deal because you were passionate, because the person bought into you as a person, but then you try again the next day and the next day, and it doesn't happen the same way. Why is that? It's because maybe you got lucky, or maybe on that day that person was keen to work with you, or maybe that person was already a buyer. It was just a case of asking for the money, like what I've realized when I was working with my good friend Jason, and I was just collecting the money, right? If you want to get consistent result, if you want to close 50%, 60%, 80%, and in the high 80s% of your deals, you need to have a mechanical influence. Because what I mean by mechanical, it's a bit like whenever you buy a car, right? The mechanics in the car will ensure that every time you turn on the engine, it's going to be ready to roll. It's going to be ready to drive. However, if you don't have this mechanical influence, that would mean sometimes your car would work, other times it will not work. And this is potentially what is happening right now in your life with your sales abilities, because you can close deals with passion, but you can't close deals consistently with passion only. You need to have a process that takes you from point A, which is them coming to you. In some cases, when I was closing on the Zoom calls, on the phone, people did not know me. So I would speak to someone who is a stranger, who's never heard of me, but who knows that they're on the call because they're interested with something. From that position, I have a strong process to get them to, one, trust me, two, help them uncover why they are on the call, why they need the help, why now is the time, that they need to make a decision now, not in a year's time. Help them figure out what we talked about in a few days before in this training, the consequences of not taking action. Help them realize how their life would be much better by taking action, working with me, working with you. Helping them see how life would be in the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years, and help them build this gap in terms of how much more money, how much more time, more heartache it will cost them by not working with you and not buying your product or service, compared to buying the service, going the other route, and seeing how much value they will get from paying you a tenth of the value they get, or even 100th of the value of the investment they get. They will get 10, 20, 50, 100 times more. This is the point of the mechanical process. From there, having a process into making the offer, asking for the money, and closing the deal. Right? Right now, you may have a process. I don't know. I knew that when I thought I had a process, it wasn't a process. The only thing I had was a script, quote unquote, which was a list of questions that I was asking people without understanding why I was asking them. And therefore, I was still into the luck phase where I would close some deals, I would not close other deals, but I would not know what I had done wrong. Having a mechanical influence process with you, and the way I teach now, by the way, this is where if you go to the classrooms, let me show you. You will see we've got the level 1 self-influence, you've got the mechanical influence. There's already 2 trainings there. There will be more, I promise you that. This is where with this you have a consistent method to close deals at a higher level. At this level, your influence is still on a one-on-one basis. So you're speaking to someone on the phone, right? Your income is still kind of capped at maybe 100K a year. Your assets, again, you don't have any real assets because you need to close, to talk, to close deals. Okay? So the only time you make money is when you speak to people. Okay? Now, after you don't need to master as such, but after you start using the mechanical influence, and by the way, the mechanical influence will work because you're going to be closing people on a logical basis, right? So you would close people easily for £50 to 100 to, I would say, up to $2,000 to $3,000. Now, for the higher ticket programs, higher ticket products and services, you would want to move into phase 3, which is the emotional influence. And as you may remember from my story, eventually in my journey, I got good at the self-influence. I trusted that what I was selling was of value, that what we were charging was 10 times more than the value people were getting, so I was good at this place. Then I got really good with events closing, where Jason was getting people in the right frame of mind, right state, right emotional position, so I could just use my mechanical process influence and pretty much collect money. But what I realized is when I went online and when people were coming to me cold or slightly warm because they would have seen some kind of Instagram video, some kind of Facebook marketing, so they knew there was some kind of problem they wanted to solve. They knew there was some kind of solution out there, but they did not know whether that was the right fit for them. Okay? Now, when you're selling above the $3,000, and I was selling at the $5,000 to $10,000 on the phone from people that had never seen me, never met me, from the other end of the world, from Australia, New Zealand, Africa, America, from all of those places, I needed to be able to build more than just a logical influence. I needed to build an emotional influence. And to build emotional influence, it's more than just words. It's more than just questions. It's actually understanding people's emotions. And this is where it's about using the right tone of words, tone of voice, going higher when needed, going lower when required to go a bit more emotional, understanding the importance of pauses when you ask deeper questions. For example, if I say, how would it feel if you did not lose this weight for the next 2, 4, 5 years? This pause is what's the most important thing to help someone reach into the emotional state to really feel the pain and to then really feel the change they require. And this is what phase 3 is about, right? And in phase 3, I'm going to go in so much detail to let you really understand and uncover the inside of emotional influence so you can close bigger deals from the 5K to the 10K to, in my case, closing a multi-six-figure company into making the owner wanting to give me the company for free. That's how powerful this is. At this layer, your level of influence would still be at a one-on-one basis, but the income you could make on a deal could increase from $5,000 to $10,000 to $100,000 to multiple $100,000. Can you see how massively different this is from the phase 1 and phase 2? In terms of assets, you're still going to be kind of a bit tied up in terms of assets, even though if you go into the mergers and acquisition world, which I went into, where I could buy an asset with this particular skill, you could be putting a few $100,000 into your pocket as an asset with this skill. Okay. Now, after you've mastered this emotional influence, you may want to extend your influence and your reach. This is why, as you look on this pyramid, it's a reverse pyramid, where from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3, your reach is quite small. The reason it's getting bigger is the types of deals that you're closing is bigger. But as you get to phase 4, which is the leveraged influence, this is what I'm literally doing right now with you. My goal on those calls is to influence you, which is what we call one-to-many. I'm speaking on a computer right now. You can watch it. You feel I'm speaking to you, which I am, but I'm also speaking to tens, 50, 100, 200, hopefully thousands of people that can now benefit from my level of influence, from the teachings that I have, allows you to leverage your time, your effort, and duplicate, multiply the amount of money you can make. And I'll be honest, I'm still getting better at this skill. I'm not the finished product there, but I already know quite a bit because I've studied it and I've practiced using it. I'm not the best. My friend Jason is one of the best. And here's the key thing. I've seen it work in so many ways. Closing $20, $50, $100,000 in 90 minutes is possible at that level. Now, in order to be really good at that level, you'll have to be good at your self-influence, your mechanical influence, your emotional influence, but now it's about taking all of this and expanding it to the masses. To make this happen, there's a few things you need to know. One is how to speak in public. And like I said in one of my other videos, which is crazy, is when I went and did a speech at my sister's wedding, my cousin's wedding, just me not having notes just put me above everyone else. But in our world here, in our world of influence, it's not just speaking in public which is key. What is more important is being able to influence people to buy into your idea, buy into your products, buy into your services, and that's how you can 10 times, 20 times, 50 times your income. Now, to make this happen, there's a few things you need to know: how to speak in public, how to structure your presentation so that everything that you do leads to the sale, to know how to handle objections before they come because you're not speaking one-to-one, how to share your story so that people relate to you and want to work with you, and more importantly, how to ask for the sale at the end of the presentation, at the end of the talk, so that people take action today, not in a year's time. With this, your influence will just expand and multiply very quickly, because you could be speaking to 10 people, to 20 people, to 50 people, to 100, and if you wanted to 1,000 people. And that's how you can duplicate and multiply your income very rapidly. In terms of assets, what I'm doing right now, I'm creating those training. If I were to do, or when I'm going to do those webinars, this training with other communities, every training that I do can become a training program that I can sell. I do it once, I can sell it many times, and that becomes an asset. Right now, me creating this framework becomes an asset, which is, by the way, another key thing I'm going to teach you on phase 4, which is how to create your own frameworks. So you put your name to it and it becomes your own thing. Talking about frameworks, that's what leads us to the phase number 5, called the legacy influence. As you can see right now, I'm building those training, which I believe are the best that you can get to maximize your ability to sell to yourself, sell in a mechanical way, sell in an emotional way, leverage yourself, right? Every training that I'm creating now, of course, I'm going to make them better as I get more feedback from you. But every training I'm creating, people today, tomorrow, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, in 50 years' time, will still be able to watch it. Even in 100 times, when I'm long gone, I would want my children, my grandchildren, to go through this training, because I believe the human psychology, human beings will not evolve that quickly. It would need to be another 1,000 years so that the things that I'm teaching today will now be obsolete. So I can see this training being used, being consumed by my great-great-grandchildren to help them to improve their influence in the world. And this is why I call it a legacy influence. Because with a legacy, that means people all around the world can benefit from what you're sharing, but more importantly, even when you're long gone, people that you will never meet will also be able to take advantage of your influence. And this is why, here as you can see, there's a map of the world. That means you can help and achieve and influence more people in your industry, wherever you are. Okay. Now, each of those phases may not be for everyone, but I would say as a skill level, it's still important to learn all of them, because at each layer, you will get a new nuanced way of speaking, of communicating to yourself, to others. And I believe at each level, you're going to be a better human being in terms of adding value to way more people than you thought was possible. At a legacy influence level now, as we've said, your influence has no limits. This is like the Tony Robbins of this time, the Jim Rohn of these times, all of those greats that have created books and training programs that even when they are dead, people will benefit from. This is not for everyone, by the way, but if you want to create something like this, that is how you could do it. This is how also you increase your status in your own industry, so people get more from you. In that same way, your income duplicates, and at the same time, you could then create business models where there's royalties. It's a bit like, think about the movie, the series Friends. Those guys created these episodes decades ago. They are still earning tens of millions every single year, because what they've created is a legacy. In terms of assets, again, as you create those trainings, you create those programs, those books, all of those things, they will be available forever and ever, and therefore you can keep on earning for it, or your estate, your family can earn from it. Okay. And like I said, to me, it's all about skills. Learning all of those layers of skills is just incredible, and you will start to see things from a different lens. But to me, I just love watching what was created here. I think it's just amazing. We are going to keep making it better. My long-term vision with this is to also create some merch around those, and that would really be based as to how you would want it. So as you're watching it now, this will be very new. Share with me whether you liked it, whether you don't like it, whether you've got other ideas that you think could help. I'm all ears, because I want to make this a massive mission. I want this to be also shared in classes to our children, because I believe if those skills were taught at a very young age, our world will be a much, much better place. And that's my biggest mission. Sharing this to as many people as I can at every age possible. I know I'm going to be teaching it to my children, and I hope you do too. Now let's move on to the next slide. I'm so happy and I want to stay in these slides, but let's move on. So we've just explained the influence code, importance of self-influence before mechanical influence, also explained. Keep refining the identity, build the next phase, also explained, and that's it. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to fill the tracker as usual. If things did not make too much sense for you, feel free to ask me questions, let me know. Come on the Q&As, let me know how I can help. But the 5 layers of influence, I know exactly what I'm going to teach, but I do want to know more about what you would want me to teach as well. And hopefully you can all benefit from this training. Okay, so let's go and complete the tracker. Give me a second, I'm going to create the post first. Okay, so what I've done, the usual, if you go to day 22, identity to legacy, right? We're going to change this to the 5 phases of influence. How to income and influence. Okay, then what we're going to do, we're going to come down to the post, copy everything here, right? Go to comment, paste it, and then just put some space in between here. Okay, now make sure you put the name. We're going to then copy and paste this whole thing. Okay, we're going to put our name here. I'm going to put some aha moments. Wins. Okay, so as you can see, I've created mine. As usual, make sure you keep on working your dragon's tongue, right? Keep being aware that it's happening. If it's happening less, do post about it. I want to know if things are getting better, guys. As you're getting more achievements, also add them on the Dragon's Vault. Feel free to share it in the post as well, so you can get more congratulations. The more I can see, I would want to reward you as well. The wins, guys, please share the wins, because I'm doing this so you can get better results with your sales, with your influence. The wins doesn't need to only be sales, by the way, guys. If you are able to influence yourself, maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to stop drinking alcohol, stop smoking, maybe you need to influence your kids to go to school, to eat their veggies, you need to influence your partner to go on a holiday, right? Talk about them, share with us. I want to know what you've used. I want to know what's working in real life. I know what I'm sharing works in real life. It's so much fun when I share and see it works with my mentees and my students. Okay, now also, guys, if you're going through this and you're struggling, do ask questions. If you do want to get faster results, like Ravinder, you would have seen Bav, and as I do more of this, I will add more, guys. Do get in touch, book a call if you want to figure out whether being part of a group coaching call or doing the one-on-one with me, that can really compress the time for you to master those skills. Let me know, because the way I work, and you would have seen it and heard it from Ravinder and Bav, the way I work is I work like a doctor. I like to see where you are, and that's why I need you to post with your language. I can already see at which layers you are, because your level of understanding will dictate the words you use. Your level of dragon's tongue ability will also determine the language you use when describing where you are. So I will be able to see. Then what I do on a call, I will see where you are and give you some prescriptions in terms of actions, in terms of kind of medicines to use to get yourself to the next level. And that's how I know people will get a minimum of 10 times the return. In Ravinder's case, if you go and watch her testimonial again, I'll show you again. But let me finish this first. But Ravinder's, she got more than 50%. Now, more than 20 times the money she paid me within 2 months of working with me. So if you want that type of return, fast return, come and speak to me. Let's see how I can help you. All right, now let's fill in this tracker. So we've done day 22, we've done the Dragon's Eye. I hope you're still doing the Dragon's Tongue community, the win and everything. We missed this one for the last one, that's okay. We're going to now screenshot this. Okay. This is wrong. We're going to do it again. Okay. Copy this and we're going to post that here. Control V. We're going to find the link again. Boom, boom. When it's ready, we're going to comment. I don't know why it's taking so long, but we'll see. Stuck. I'm going to pause and come back. Okay, so for some reason the picture didn't go through, but that's okay. What we're going to do now is going to take the link from here. We're going to post it down here. Let's also find the link from yesterday and post it here. This one. Okay. Now what we're going to do, come back. We're going to here. And what we're going to do, you come and right click here, open the community, and we're going to use the answers and post on the different parts. Okay, so Nicholas, the Dragon's Eye, we're going to click on the Dragon's Eye, we're going to post here, find the title, Control X, Control V, boom, done. Next one, Nicholas Aha Moments, Control C. Come down to the ahas, Control C, Control X, Control V, post, right, and then the last one, you come here, Control C. When I'm saying control, guys, I'm clicking on the control panel, the control button on my laptop. If you're a Mac, I'm sorry, I don't know what you do, but you can also come and right click, click on copy. You come here, you find the wins, and then open up, you go right click, paste, you find this, you can also right click, cut, right click, paste, and that's it, post. Cool. So that's it, guys. It's a longer one, but hopefully it opened your mind what I was doing here with the self-influence, the mechanical influence, emotional influence, leverage, and legacy. So very excited to go and create a ton of training on each of those phases for you. And yeah, that's it from me, and I'll speak to you later. Have a good day.